Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to this Bulls Digital Update. I'm Paul Peck with UB Women's Soccer coach Shawn Burke. Great start for your team, Shawn. Congratulations. 5-1-0 to begin the year with 4 shutouts. Everybody always wants to get off to a good start. I'm sure you spent the whole winter thinking about it. What has allowed it to happen?
I think a big part of what's allowed it to happen is we have freshmen playing at a really high level right away. There's 6 freshmen right now that are logging a lot of minutes. We've started 5 regularly, and you got to give them a lot of credit to what they've been able to do in our successful start.
That does not often go together, right? Playing a lot of freshmen and being successful as a team. I assume you were a little worried about that when you decided to make that move. So how have those younger players been able to transition so easily?
Well, I think we had a few in mind that we thought were going to compete to start right away. And you look at Emily Kelly in goal as one of those and the level that she's performing at. And then really injuries kind of dictated a lot of some of those others starting. So a lot of credit has to go to them because, again, you don't ever plan on going into a season with that many freshmen, or you hope you don't plan on that many freshmen having to start. And things worked out the way that they did, and you got to give those players a lot of credits that they were ready for the moment when they were called upon.
Emily in goal, and your defense as a whole, you've outscored your opponents 12-1 over the 5-game winning streak. 4 shutouts, as we mentioned. What has it been about your ability to shut people down that has been so good?
Well, you look at you returned Georgina, who's a captain for us at center back 3 years now, just really one of the most dominant players in this conference. And then, Bex as well has seen a lot of minutes at the outside back. So there's a lot of experience there. And then you look at Tess, Abby's contribute a lot, AJ as well with more experience in that back line. But I think what's impressed the most is you look at Emily in goal as a freshman, Tess center back as a freshman, and then right in front of our back four is Hannah, another freshman, that really 3 are asked to play really big roles in our system, and they've exceeded all expectations in what they've been able to do so far.
508 minutes without allowing a goal. As you mentioned, Emily as a freshman goalkeeper has been amazing. How difficult is that? Give everybody an idea of how hard it is for a freshman to step right into the crucial position of goalkeeper and do as well as she has.
It's the one position where it's unique to everything else that we do, and there's a depth chart, obviously there's a depth chart in goal as well, but it's the one position you really don't tinker with. You get the start and it's pretty much your net, and as long as you continue to perform, and just the pressures of it is different than everything else that our teammates has to deal with. And coming in as a freshman, all the expectations, at that position, people tend to remember the mistakes as opposed to where, on the opposite side as a forward, all everybody remembers is the goals that you score. So I think there's a unique pressure to it. But again, her technical ability coming in, and she's a superior athlete. And I think that helps kind of level the playing field in that regards and maybe make up for mistakes here and there. But she's been college ready from day one.
When a goalkeeper is playing that well, is your best piece of coaching just to leave her alone?
Yeah, typically sometimes it is. Again, when your goalkeeper's playing that well, the confidence with the entire team changes. And that's the biggest feeling, and the players will talk about it, us as a staff, we talk about it. There's just a different feeling and confidence amongst the whole group, and it starts with Emily in the back.
You mentioned you're relying very heavily on some freshmen, on some young players, and I think we've seen this across almost every sport now at the collegiate level. Players are so much better prepared previous to college. They spend so much time getting ready. They play on high-level travel teams. Has that contributed to being able to have as many freshmen as ready as they have been?
Absolutely. Most of our freshmen, over half of our freshmen, played in a women's league this summer that everyone they're playing with is college or just out of college. Some of them have had some professional experiences. So I think that absolutely has helped with the transition, being able to play at that high level, that when they stepped on campus here in August, it was a seamless transition for them.
You're home on Friday night at UB Stadium to take on St. Bonaventure. That will be your final non-conference game before the MAC schedule starts. I ask you about the MAC in a moment, but obviously it's a significant tipping point in the schedule. So what are you thinking about for this game with Bona, and how important is it to keep this run going into the MAC part of the schedule?
It's absolutely important. And again, I think having a clean sheet is important. Scoring goals is important. And keeping this momentum is absolutely important because, again, you want to be going into conference play on the ultimate high. And, the girls' spirit has been great. training's been great. The level of competition's been great. And again, when you look at our upperclassmen and some of the experiences they've had the last couple of years, they know how hard it's been to get to this point. So I think to have that perspective is huge for us as well. But it is. And our girls have been very good at just focusing on what's right in front of them. And for us, that's St. Bonaventure on Friday.
All right. Then next Friday, you start your MAC play on the road against Northern Illinois. What have you sensed about how the MAC is shaking out as you've been watching everybody else's non-conference schedules?
Yeah, the MAC is honestly, it's just like every other year. It's the beauty of this is whether you're the team that's traditionally at the top or you're fighting to get out of the bottom. There's no easy games. There's no easy games, and Northern's a tough place to play. So open up with that trip. And Western, I think they actually might have a slightly better record than us. So to start on the road again, it's partly why the schedule was set up the way it was. First 6 games on the road, because again, for us, what we want to do in this conference, we have to be able to perform on the road.
It's a 5-1 start for Shawn's UB women's soccer team. They are at home on Friday night against St. Bonaventure. Congratulations on the start of the year.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
That is Shawn Burke. He is the UB women's soccer coach. We thank him for joining us on this Bulls Digital Update.